In this video, let's define what exactly is publicity. It's a commonly used term, but a lot of people get confused by exactly what it means. Well,
this video is brought to you by Pies Academy.
The simple and pure definition, and we're going to depurify it and add to it in a little bit, but the simple and pure definition is it's free, earned mentions by the media. If earned means you didn't pay for it, they think you're compelling. Traditionally, media has been defined as television, radio, magazines, and newspapers. Those are tremendous. Imagine if you get mentioned on TV or your local radio or in a large magazine. That's a lot of awareness, and awareness leads to people buying from your business. Today, this has been changed. Today, we have another kind of media, social media, and it's been democratized. Social media is anything like Twitter mentions, Instagram mentions on blogs, YouTube channel, podcasts, you name it. There's so many new media sources, and guess what? Let's say Joe down the streets mentions you on his Twitter account and he has only 10 followers. Well, it's a tiny publicity piece, but it is free publicity. Of course, you want to get publicity from gigantic accounts, of course. But any such account counts for at least a little bit of publicity. And the way you can get it is by being truly compelling. You can take your story, dress it up a little bit, or find a positioning or find an angle to make you stand out. Maybe you can seem more authoritative. Maybe you can have something interesting and unique that you do that other people don't. There's a lot of ways you can stand out, and we're going to cover that later in the course, but you have to be compelling. The long and short of it is you're the person who's going to get attention. You're going to get mentioned for something. The more amazing you are, the more creative, the more insightful, the more extraordinary, whatever you're doing is, the better, because it's going to make the case easier to say, hey, Mr. Journalist or Mr. Podcaster or Mr. Whoever, promote me. But we'll cover a lot of strategies for how to increase the chances for you getting promoted and how to make your story compelling. Don't worry about it. We'll get there. But the point here is that it's really you. You've got to be as amazing as possible, because if there's nothing there, it's really hard. Getting publicity becomes an uphill battle, although we will solve that for you in this course. One other thing you can do is turn yourself into an influencer. So because media has been democratized, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you had to go through gatekeepers to get on the radio, television, be in magazines. It was really hard. And even now, if you want somebody else to promote you, like I said, they have to think you're compelling. But guess what? You don't need their approval anymore. All modern media, like the social media, has been democratized. So you know what? If you want, you can create your own popular podcast, your own popular YouTube channel, your own Instagram account, etc. So you can actually give yourself publicity. And guess what? When you do that, it's hard to get publicity elsewhere. That happens rarely, or at least not daily. But if you can get publicity, if you can make yourself an influencer, it's kind of like getting publicity every day, which is so much more amazing. We'll talk about that. And of course, a new trend that's developing is influencer marketing. Often that means paying. And you can also pay traditional journalists. Some of them accept payments to get placed. Not every article that you see in your blogs that you read, the magazines that you read, the television shows that you watch, not everything is through its own merit. Sometimes things are there because that placement has been paid for. And you can also pay. If you have funds for this, you can get influencers in your niche to promote you. They often don't say that you paid them, although legally they have to say that, but it almost never happens that way. Almost no one actually complies with these laws, and these laws are different in different countries. But in the United States, people actually have to disclose. In any case, so that's influencer marketing. If you have a budget, it's possible to get some mentions very quickly by influencers. There are pros and cons to this. We'll discuss it later in the course. But for now, you understand exactly what the different kinds of publicity are and how to begin approaching them and which ones might be right for you.